There are 8 head coaching openings in the NFL. It's so let's rank them from 1 to 8. What's the best and what's the worst?
All right, the worst is the Carolina Panthers, full stop.
Yeah.
David Tepper has fired 5 coaches in like 4 years. He's petulant. He's mean. He throws drinks at people. And you have no future. You have no draft capital, and you have a quarterback who's not tall enough to ride rides at Cedar Point. I have nothing for you. The Panthers, to me, are the worst.
If they're 8, then at 7, the New England Patriots. Because you have to follow up a legend. You really don't have a QB, whether you want Zappy or Mac Jones. And it's just going to be, you're never going to win over the people because you'll never be Bill Belichick or do what Bill Belichick did.
Can I offer one, cheat code to what Rico said, which, by the way, I think he's completely right? If they hire Mike Vrabel, you will have time because he's a Patriot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
But everything he said, oh, yeah, that job's radioactive. Yeah. If I'm not Vrabel, I want no part of it.
Yeah, it'd be just like Floyd, who coached the Chicago Bulls.
Tim Floyd.
Yes,
right after Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson's like, what are you doing? Oh, it's a great job. You'll be fired.
Marcus Pfizer, great draft pick.
Yeah, so you were right on one, close on the other. Yes, the Panthers are ranked the worst. The Patriots are ranked 6. So there's a team in between these two. And I'll give you a hint. You mentioned the coach that used to coach there.
Tennessee.
Tennessee is number 7.
What is their rationale for that?
Derrick Henry possibly leaving.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a quarterback?
No.
And
stadium's a dump.
Yeah.
I don't like Nashville as a town, but that has more to do with I don't like country music.
You're in a rebuild.
And they're also mentioning the possible power struggle with the new GM there and the ownership. So
yeah, and you know what? Maybe a little bit of a red flag the way Vrabel got let go because, well, we didn't like what he did when he was in New England's Hall of Fame ceremony. Like, really? Yeah, okay, 7. Fine.
Stuff like that is what used to happen in Detroit, where you're like, the GM should really be making these decisions,
wait,
right?
That's not the family that's suing each other, is it?
No, that is the McNairs. That is the Texans ownership.
Oh, okay. I knew somebody was. Yeah, I get them confused.
They came from Houston, so it makes sense.
This is the Adams.
Gotcha.
Yes.
The Petty Adams.
So then we get to number 5 on the list.
Commanders?
No.
Really?
They are number 2 on the list.
Yeah, yes, I can understand why they're number 2.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear 5.
Yeah, number 5 on the list would be the Las Vegas Raiders.
No issue. Owner's a goofball.
Okay, they should not be on the list. You have a coach already. Why are we doing this?
Antonio Pierce did everything right, and the idea that he's not given this job, it's remarkable to me.
Here's the thing. If Aaron Glenn gets a job and they fire him, if I'm the Lions, I bring him here.
No, that's my DC.
Instantly. Okay, somewhere.
The Giants should line up to hire him. He was a great Giant on Super Bowl teams. But give me Antonio Pierce. Can you do me a kindness?
No, you know what? Just in case somebody takes the Niners DC, we'll take Pierce.
Okay, super.
But no, I mean, you have a coach. He's right there.
And the Vegas thing, the thing that bothers me the most, it's like L.A. Light. You don't have some great home field. You're a bit of an exhibition.
No, you're right. She's still trying to figure out how an indoor field tears up.
What about the dew point?
Yeah,
What's for?
That was interesting. The
you know
end
why?
zone is just gone.
Because they're the only team allowed to play on the grass. Any other game in there is artificial turf. But the Raiders have a special field that apparently they don't take care of.
What's number 4?
Number 4 would be the Atlanta Falcons.
They have everything except the quarterback. The weapons are there.
Young players, yeah.
Blank's a good owner.
They're sitting with the 8th pick, so you could possibly get a quarterback. You're not going to get one of the top 3. But
you know what I'd do if I were them? I would try to move up to get Jaden Daniels. You put Jaden Daniels in that offense with those weapons, I mean, automatically you're going to sell some tickets and re-energize the franchise. I mean, Arthur Smith, for a time, you thought it was going to work. They were like 6-6 last year. They were an upstart team. They collapsed. This year, it just never felt right.
Or maybe, they should have. They should do what they didn't do last year when they really didn't go after Lamar. Just see what it would take to pry Fields away from Chicago.
Sure.
You know you don't want him there.
Sure.
You know you want to take that number 1 pick. We'll swap our picks. We'll throw in some extra picks. Just go ahead and send them to us.
There's another quarterback mention here. You all mentioned the first two. The last one they mentioned as a possibility,
Desmond
Kirk
Ridder.
Cousins.
Awful. No. I just don't understand that at all.
See, I think he's going to end up a Viking again. His value skyrocketed because they just couldn't find a quarterback that could fill in for him.
Number 3 on the list would be the L.A. Chargers.
It's a good job on surface. You get Justin Herbert. The problem, it's an aging roster, bad salary cap. The Spanoses are bad owners, notably cheap, and you'll play 17 road games a year. You have no home field advantage. You just don't. There's no fan base there. L.A. never wanted them. Mm-hmm. There is no big Charger base there. No. But yes, having a quarterback, it shows you the importance of it. That elevates them to the upper echelon of the list. You get Justin Herbert.
And I see why Washington is too, because you get a chance to really jumpstart the whole team, new management.
Have a lot of cap space.
And you have, at least as of right now, the number 2 overall pick, which means you're going to either get Caleb Williams or Drake May. Whichever doesn't go number 1, that's your QB of the future.
Yeah, it helps that you already have the number 2 pick, like you said, but you have so much draft capital from trading Young and Montez Sweat. So, to restart there would be easy. And then number 1 on the list, I don't agree with it. Seattle Seahawks.
Why?
I don't think they have a solution there at quarterback, so you got to find that solution.
You're in a great city. You got a great home field advantage. You've got a really good...
the opposite of L.A.
Right. You got a really loyal base. You got a really good roster. Now, clearly, he's more of a Geno Smith guy than I am, but Geno's passable. You have the skill players, the weapons, some good young players. Witherspoon's going to be a star on defense. David, makes sense. And guess what? It's a good organization. They draft winning players.
And here's the thing, you can just wait to see which quarterback is going to be available because there's always one that you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. They're ready to win right now. So, yeah, Seattle, you can win with Geno Smith. It's enough to get you on that playoff line, and if you somehow can either trade up to get a quarterback or you wait for somebody to make that, I'm going to go with the rookie. And if I'm Seattle, I'm calling Chicago. Give us Justin. What do you want?
Basically, Rico's got every team in the league calling about Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much.
Atlanta and Seattle should have a bidding war because either team gets him, and instantly you're better.
It's just that we are already at 8, and we haven't had a collapse from a team in the playoffs yet. We could get very close to a third of the league.
I was going to ask you a question. Is there a non-zero chance? Obviously, with Jerry Jones, look, if Mike McCarthy loses at home to the Packers, but let me give you one that this guy is under the radar crazy, and it wouldn't shock me, especially if you know who is actually serious about going to the NFL. If Mike McDaniel and the clown car goes to KC and gets embarrassed, second straight year they've kind of collapsed, second straight year losing cold weather, there's no way Stephen Ross would fire Mike McDaniel, is there? Because Stephen Ross has made some rash decisions before.
I don't think
Harbaugh to Miami.
Oh.
Remember, Stephen Ross said, I'm not going to be the one to take Jim. Well, if Jim hired Don Yee, and Jim is already saying, you ain't taking me. I'm asking to come here. I'm leaving.
And he's already won the – oh, my Lord.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm saying David's right. Someone's going to get eliminated this weekend, and you feel like it won't shock you because there's so many openings.
See, that wasn't the one I was thinking about. But, Mike, that was a good one. No,
Not
I was
bad.
thinking we're watching all the different legends leave the game. What if Andy Reid just says, enough? I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore.
It'd be smart, but these guys aren't smart. Is Andy Reid the oldest coach in the league now?
I think he is now, yeah.
65?
So, I mean, that's
65 in that range. Yeah,
That's one where, you know what? I'll just go with the guy painting chefs in the end zone and just call it a day.
Yes, he is 65. Will be 66 in March.
But I like what you're doing with the Miami thing. That was bottom of the ocean, Mike. That was deep.
Oh, boy.
That is in football today.